get engulfed into the bodybuilding. So you might see me a little bit more tanned, you might see me in a little Speedo, who knows, but I am definitely embracing the whole getting the pump thing. What's up, YouTube perverts? Welcome back to another episode of AM Training, AM Rehabbing, and AM Surprising, because I'm actually feeling a whole lot better exponentially, I would say. And it's crazy how you go from like really, crazy amount of leg pain because of your back and going to feeling pretty good and wanting to lift some heavy goddamn weights again. But I'm gonna try to be smart. I'm not gonna push it. I am still transitioning into weights in general. I am doing machines. You just saw I was doing some machines. I still do my my rehab exercises throughout the day, probably maybe 6-8 times a day. I never stop doing that. Just progressing as you go. I mean, last week you saw that my progression was really slow. My progression was just kind of lying on the side and doing isometric exercises or planks that way, which is I got mixed feelings from this, because a lot of my physical therapist co-workers that I was talking to, they kind of laughed at that I was doing side planks, because again, with it being so new, it's almost like you're irritating the injury, especially going on one side, because if it's like a bulging disc, it might want to maybe protrude out that one side. You might have a little bias toward one side or the other. And with side planks, I can see their concern, but again, I am properly bracing throughout the whole area, not just one side. And again, I feel like it was an appropriate progression for me, and I think it's justified, at least for me. Again, this is all what I'm doing here, all what I'm saying. I'm not recommending it to you, but I am recommending that you do find a solution and find what works for you, because again, this is kind of my journey through my back pain and my herniated disc. Now, I am saying, disclaimer, this is all for entertainment value, because I don't want to get sued. So whatever you guys do, that's on your own business, and that is, that's your business. But again, I feel like if I had something like this when I first had my injury back in 4 years ago, it would definitely help, just because there is hope. I was a whole lot depressed, and now, it's pretty much about 8-9 days after I really snapped up my shit, and I feel a whole lot better. Again, a lot of my workout that you saw was rehabbing and a lot of stability. Actually, in the very beginning, you could see I was doing machines where I was supporting my back not letting my back do anything, again with rows, and the machine with chest supported rows, and also a machine with you know, where I don't use my back muscles. Now my last day, which was today that you just saw my workout, I was doing some curls for the girls, and I didn't have to lean back, or I didn't do any preacher curls, so I'm slowly introducing just load, just because even having your arm out here, that's, your back is doing work. So I'm sure for you guys that have messed up back and have that radicular pain, any small movements you can really feel. And it's so funny because like you would think that this is just an isolation movement, just moving the shoulder or even the bicep, but just with that weight kind of offsetting you, everything has to work in together in order for you not to topple over, and so your back is getting addressed and getting some action. So I am using this time as a way to, you know, fix up anything that I'm snapped up with. I do have greater trochanter pain that might be from just kind of overuse along with knees caving in. I am knock-kneed, but I am using this kind of block as a hypertrophy block. So what's cool about that is that even though I am not, you know, doing the powerlifting movements, I am going to have that nice phase potentiation into it, because anyone that knows periodization, you have your hypertrophy, your strength, and then you have your power. So again, with you know, with this one, I am trying to basically get a bigger engine, aka get bigger biceps in order to you know, move more weight. So not only biceps, just muscle size in general. So this is a time where I can really concentrate on high volume and low intensity, and that's exactly why I got the blood flow restriction bands that you just saw. I am a fan of those just because the pump is real, and I really feel my muscles working compared to, you know, I've been lifting for 12 years and I've always emphasized weight, and I've always admired like bodybuilders that can really contract and really control their muscle, because for me, I feel like I'm biased. As powerlifters have to move weight, as much weight as we can, as easily as we can. Doesn't matter if there's like momentum, as long as it's within the rules. So that's our bias. But bodybuilders, they tend to work the muscle and work the muscle as hard as they can. So there's a difference there. I'm definitely respecting that and trying to get engulfed into the bodybuilding. So you might see me a little bit more tanned, you might see me in a little Speedo, who knows, but I am definitely embracing the whole getting the pump thing, and hopefully that will translate to bigger numbers once I start powerlifting in maybe a month or two. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't snap up my shit. My coworker has a great analogy for any kind of disc herniation. Even though I feel great, I don't want to push it. It's almost like a cut that you would have on your knuckle. You have to let it heal before you test it. Sometimes when you test too soon, you're just gonna reopen it and re-aggravate it and start from maybe not day one, but maybe day two, kind of thing, where you have to rebuild everything. So I don't want to retest it too soon, even though I feel like I can probably do some light squats, but again, with that movement, I feel like I would just kind of irritate it, and I really want to focus on hypertrophy anyways, because, you know, boom. Anyways, train hard, train smart. We'll call it a day with that video. Appreciate you.